time is like 1:30 in the morning. I've only got today before I head out on the road for a 2.5 hour journey to CANNOCK CHASE. Now, I'm super excited about this because CANNOCK CHASE, for anyone that doesn't know, has a lot of really strange reports. I mean, if you think places like Harwood Forest are notoriously weird for like wildman sightings, then CANNOCK is like the pinnacle, because there is reports of wild men, dogmen, wolfmen, UFOs, extraterrestrials, black-eyed children. This seems to be like just a hotbed of strange things happening. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And it's going to be nice. It's going to be good just to be with a bunch of guys that are like-minded, all exchanging thoughts, theories and opinions. And yeah, I'll keep you guys posted every step of the way. Okay guys, so I'm just getting my stuff packed. I think the time is like 9 o'clock in the morning, something like that now. It's nothing worse than when you get to a place and your heart sinks because you realise that you forgot a vital piece of equipment. Super excited. Hopefully I can make a nice video out of all this and be able to share that with you guys. That's always the worrying part, is not knowing what it's going to look like before it looks like what it looks like.
Are you excited?
For today?
Yeah.
I am. I'm really excited. I'm a bit anxious.
Well, I would be. You're going to one with black-eyed children.
Yeah, exactly. I've spoken to you about this before now, like CANNOCK CHASE.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
I'm a bit scared.
Yeah. Well, you're not going, so...
Well, yeah, no, but normally where you go, it's just like UFOs and Bigfoot legends. It's not...
Yeah. No, I am. I'm anxious and like apprehensive today because there's a lot of stories that do come from CANNOCK CHASE that worry me. There's a lot of legend and history as well behind it. So a guy actually did murder a few children back in the day and bury them in the woods.
Oh my god.
And who knows, is that where the legend of the black-eyed children stem from? Or but it's not just that, there's more. There's like extraterrestrials and UFOs, people reporting wild cryptids like this wolf man, like half wolf, half man. So yeah, I'm excited, but I'm also quite apprehensive as well.
Oh, I'd be nervous.
Yeah. What do you make of all these other claimed extraterrestrial? You believe the extraterrestrial phenomenon?
Yeah, I believe that. And,
Yeah.
I have an open mind to Bigfoot.
Yeah. But everything else, you're a bit on the fence.
Everything else scares me.
Yeah.
Black-eyed children.
Well, I'm
murders.
gonna be there today. Like, well, I'm staying for 2 days, so this is gonna be like the first thing of its kind that I've ever done like this, where I'm meeting up with other people, and yeah, I'm sure that some of those guys that I'll be meeting up with believe this stuff, so it'll be interesting to hear what they think and some of their theories.
Get other perspectives on it.
Yeah. Just a bit scary right now, so yeah.
Well, fingers crossed you come back in one piece.
Yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed. So what a complete drama. As always with me, everything is left to the very last minute. I should have been on the road over an hour ago now, but I need a chair. Like, when I get to CANNOCK CHASE and the guys are sat out in the forest and we're all talking about these weird and wonderful things, where am I going to sit? I need a chair. And for the last hour and a bit, I've been looking in the house. I could have sworn it was there, but it wasn't. So it would have actually been just quicker to go buy a new chair. But do you know when you're adamant that you've seen it, but you just can't remember where it is? Just one little quick stop off for something to eat and then back on the road. Just gonna bring my stuff in now and then message the guys to let them know that I've arrived safely, etc. And yeah, looking forward to this, really looking forward to it. So this place is 4 bedrooms and yeah, there's no one here at the minute, so I guess I'll just choose whichever room. Oh sweet, no pun intended. Right guys, I'm here, thank the Lord, because that felt like it was never going to end. Honestly, at parts of that journey, driving down here, I just felt like there must be roadworks 15-20 miles ahead, constantly laying new road. Absolute nightmare. But like I said, I am here in one piece, which is the main thing. It's always nice. And I'm just waiting on the other guys. There's going to be Chris Turner, who I've met once before, and I think it's 2 or 3. 2 other guys turning up that I've never met, which will be really nice. I'm super excited about that. And for me right now, it's just all about unpacking my kit, because as you can see, it's thrown all over the bed. There's rubbish everywhere, and I just want to get this room set up, ready to film over the next 2 days. Now this room, where I am, quick tour, is on the ground floor. It's the only room on the ground floor. The rest of the guys will be sleeping upstairs, which for me is perfect because I'm a terrible, terrible sleeper. And when I'm up through the night, pottering around, playing on my phone, watching back on on my footage from the day, I don't want to be keeping or disturbing anybody else. So yeah, for me it makes sense to be on the ground floor by myself and everybody else upstairs. It's not that I'm antisocial or anything. I'm just a terrible sleeper. Like, I don't want to be worrying that other people here are losing out on sleep all because of me. So I'm just sat in the communal area, chilling out, waiting for the guys to turn up. And I started thinking, like, what would be a great way to break the ice? Well, in the communal area is a TV, and on that TV is Amazon Prime. And on Amazon Prime is Expedition Sasquatch 2. Justin Chernopeski from Mountain Beast Mysteries. It's his documentary, for those of you that don't know. Great guy, my brother from another mother, doing his thing out there in Canada. Amazing documentary. Watch it if you haven't already. But it's got so many great talking points that this is the perfect icebreaker. Like, there's going to be so many things to talk about regarding this documentary. CANNOCK.
Did you bring your EM meter?
No.
This is none of us, we've not prepared.
Right, that's counts.
What is the EM meter, Chris? What is that? EM meter?
Electromagnetic.
Yeah. Oh, right, okay, yeah. And that's good for picking up.
Would that be needed? It wouldn't really be needed, would it?
There's a lot of problems with using equipment like that in somewhere like CANNOCK CHASE.
Oh, it's going off!
Well, look where you are. That's why it's going off.
Ley lines everywhere, and you know, you don't know what, like we were saying before on the drive down, we don't know what's buried. There'd be pipeline buried.
Well, how many scientific technicians do you see out on CHASE going, yeah, you've got a point? No. Because I'm not saying that it isn't legit, but if it is, and you want to use it as evidence, then take someone that knows what they're doing and can say, this is legit, and I'll tell you why it is. And it might mean this, or this. It probably means nothing.
Yeah.
But
Out of all the phenomena then, the black-eyed children, extraterrestrials, the
caveman,
Bigfoot sightings that happen here and stuff, what do you think is the most believable? For me, obviously, the pig man is right at the bottom of that pile.
Yeah.
The Slender Man, I think I can rule out.
You've just got to have your mind open, haven't you? And just...
Although the black-eyed children, for me, are quite up there, because I think...
Alien.
No, I think there was children killed and buried in CANNOCK CHASE, weren't there? And who knows if it's like a paranormal entity of these children, like... I mean...
Apparently, they draw you close to these black-eyed children, and they walk...
Was they seen before the murders, though? Because if that was the case, then that rules out my theory, but... If the black-eyed children were seen before the kids were killed, then we can say it's not the spirits of those kids, but...
I thought it was only one kid that got killed. Was it 2?
Well, he got caught and arrested for one that he buried in CANNOCK CHASE, but there was believed to be others as well.
Right. Because something like the pig man, I find it difficult to believe that the best minds in World War II thought, we'll create a super soldier and use a pig. because the tail will be really useful in combat.
Yeah.
Like, pig's known for speed.
But when you say pig man, do you mean a pig face or just the nose or something? Is it?
Well, we don't know. We don't know. There's only it's
I've
only been
heard
handed
rumours.
down. It's only been handed down via people who've seen or experienced it. That it's got a pig's face and a man's body. That's it.
Genius.
And it is. I mean, that's out of the book of text. That you know, that's what's been seen.
But I agree with Mark. It's a difficult one to defend one set of witnesses, and then
discredit another.
And then discredit another witness that said they saw something like a pig man.
Yeah.
Obviously.
And
People who have seen the pig man, I'd like to say that, you know, I don't think you're hallucinating or anything like that, but I think you've been mistakenly identifying
an ugly bloke.
An ugly bloke, yeah.
Well, one thing you can't discount, they can't discount CANNOCK CHASE history.
Yeah.
And its wealth of sightings. That's the one thing you can't discount about them. Of all the places in the UK, even Rendlesham.
Yeah.
Well, you've got to be out there for the most part. You've got to put yourself in the places, and if you're doing that, then you're doing a lot more than most people are.
That's it.
After that,
who knows?
Who knows?
No charge. Got your phone? Yep. Starting route. Okay guys, so we're just heading to the German War Cemetery. The plan is once we get there to spread out, separate. Chris has kindly brought walkie-talkies, so we can still keep in contact with each other, but the aim is to try and cover as much ground as we can while we're there.
There's a lot of ghostly sightings as well, but the area itself is just surrounded by the unusual.
To my up, what's that? Fox. That's it.
Yeah, running the. There you go. You seen your first fox.
Well, I think it was a werewolf, but I said fox.
Yeah, I think it probably a werefox.
Okay guys, I can't even see where the hell I'm walking in front of me, but the only way you can get to see me is if I blind myself with this bright light. So I'm now in the German prisoner of war camp graveyard. It's not too cold tonight actually. The guys have just wandered off to go check out one of the headstones in the graveyard there. But apparently there's a lot of paranormal activity happening in this graveyard, but a lot of reports of weird Dogman type creatures as well, so seems like it's a popular place. There's a lot of cars driving up and down, which I'm not too keen on, but I can't start controlling the traffic, so I've got to make do. It's a starry night as well, which is great because I brought my laser pen, my laser pointer. I'm not picking up any weird vibes right now. If anything, it's quite relaxed. This is something I always say about churches and graveyards, is that I get the opposite feeling from them. Sometimes you go into these places expecting it to be creepy and kind of an atmosphere, but sometimes it's quite the opposite. Sometimes it's really peaceful, and all you want to do is just sit there quietly and absorb the atmosphere. So that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. I think we are going to push further into CANNOCK CHASE itself, the actual woodland, and have a little explore there as well. So I'm sure this night's going to be full of many great surprises.
Oh, this is good. Look at that. That's a shot in there.
This is a good shot. Right, where's my torch? There's...
Okay guys, so we've just pushed into this, I'm not even sure what you'd call this place. It's like a crypt. Behind me you can see like a memorial or a tomb of some kind. Seems a bit odd though. I've just mentioned there's no graffiti in this place whatsoever. It's kind of just being left and untouched, which is unusual for these kind of places. It seems out of place almost. Okay, so we've just had a bit of a development.
Nothing.
My radio that was fully charged before we headed out is completely dead. So yeah, is everybody else's charged? Everybody else is turning on? That would be weird if they're all turned off. Yeah, yours is turned.
It's just dead.
Are you right there? Yours turned?
Wow. Yeah, I'm fully charged.
Yeah, so as of now, guys, I don't have a walkie-talkie, so it wasn't turned on in my pocket or anything like that, but it's the only walkie-talkie at the minute that's not working. Any reason, Chris, why you think that might be? Is there any logical reason?
These are 32.
Were they all definitely charged? 100%?
Yeah. 3200 mAh batteries.
Yeah.
Double, triple checked them.
Right, okay. So yeah, as of now, guys, no explanation as to why that would be, but just thought I'd mention it on the video that this walkie-talkie is now dead. It could be something logical, obviously, but just seems strange that everybody else's is working and they were all fully charged as well. So Chris, what are you feeling right now about this place? Do you feel like it would be a place that maybe some strange things do occur? Or are you just...
You can certainly understand, put yourself in the position of kids being out here in a group, and
yeah,
you know, this is the bigger part of the German cemetery, which probably a lot of people that visit for the first time probably don't know about this part of it,
yeah,
which is much bigger. But it's different when there's a group of you and we're semi-working that way on our various projects that we're doing.
Yeah,
it's quite a peaceful feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I was thinking the same. Like walking through, I don't feel like it's a horrible atmosphere or anything. It just feels peaceful to me.
And I mean, look, if you come on your own, the atmosphere will probably
change.
But a lot of that's inside your head.
Yeah,
but it's an interesting place, regardless. And as we said before, is this connected to the individual?
Yeah.
Does it only happen to certain individuals? There's cases for, there's evidence either way for that, isn't there?
Yeah.
Because then you've got your chance encounters, certainly with the cryptids, that people that have no interest in the subject whatsoever and have that one encounter.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to tomorrow when we push into the wooded area and stuff, and maybe get some chairs set up, sit down and have a chat about these things as well. That's going to be good. I'm looking forward to that. It's still amazing me how Mark's not freezing to death yet.
No, it's quite mild. It really is.
It is
surprisingly.
quite mild, to be honest.
Yeah. Considering we're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Surrounded by nature and ghoulies.
I've often shared my own personal opinions here on the channel with you guys about what I think of a UK Bigfoot, or maybe even some of these other strange cryptids that are sighted here in the UK. And for me, it's always been extraterrestrial. If it's extraterrestrial, then there are no boundaries, no limitations. And yes, I do get this. People will say to me, but Ben, that's just a cop-out. Basically what you're doing is explaining away the phenomena by calling it extraterrestrial. Because once you call it extraterrestrial, it explains everything. Precisely. That is my point. The only fault that people make in that assumption is that I make it extraterrestrial to help explain away these things. I don't make it anything. But it is funny. Once you do consider that the creature people keep seeing could be extraterrestrial, it explains away everything. The ability to disappear, the ability to mind speak, the countless reports of strange lights in the sky and other reports of people smelling foul odours, all of which can be attributed to the extraterrestrial phenomena. We have a saying here in the UK that goes like this: if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, then it's probably a duck. One of the questions I've got to ask myself when I'm coming out to these places trying to find answers to my own experiences, what I saw, was it paranormal in nature? Do I feel like what I saw was paranormal? And I don't think it was. I don't think it was cryptid in nature. Like, I don't think this was some kind of wild, undiscovered creature. For me, it did feel truly extraterrestrial. And that's kind of like where my mind wants to lead me down, searching the UFO and extraterrestrial phenomena. But in doing so, it leaves out other possibilities and kind of makes me build up a bias inside my own head. So I do have to entertain these other ideas as well, like the paranormal, like strange cryptids, because right now I don't have the answers, and it could be any one of those things. So it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. Just being sat up talking to the guys about some weird things that they've experienced and other things that they believe in, etc. Nothing really much happened at all tonight, apart from we went out there and we explored the woodland a bit more. I think most of my filming will be done tomorrow, or well, should I say later on today once I've woken up again. And yeah, really looking forward to tomorrow. A bit of daylight so we can see where we're going, pick out the best spots, and yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Morning.
Morning.
You sleep well?
Yep.
Good. I'm good. Did you sleep well?
Out like a light. I've been up since before 5.
Really? Why?
Just couldn't sleep. I mean, as soon as I laid in that bed last night, I was out. I thought,
Yeah.
I was gone.
Yeah.
But no.
Is Crystal asleep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we tried waking him up. We put like alarms on phones and stuff. We'll be sat in there.
So what have you found? What have you found there?
Showing you now. It's called Bordersit Old Park. And it's about 6 miles away from us.
Yeah. Some kind of a watchtower.
Yeah, there's a few. I think that's where the concentration camp was.
Yeah, that'd be worth checking out, wouldn't it?
That's
Is the base still there, or is it just a watchtower?
I think it's just a watchtower, but there's loads of them going around.
Yeah.
So I was saying to Chris yesterday, there's one in daylight.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be worth checking out.
You ready?
Terrifying.
Right.
Terrifying.
I think we're going to see out up here.
Yeah, that's not bad. Well, say it in your own voice and not someone off that radio show.
Hi guys, welcome back to day 2. It's been an absolutely amazing day so far. Just arrived late last night, but we didn't let that stop us. We got straight out onto CANNOCK CHASE and had a wander about exploring. Today we've done the same. We've got a lot of light left. It's quite early in the morning and a full day ahead of us of filming, so I'm really looking forward to that. We are just on this old logging trail now, heading down to the bottom of this hill, and hopefully we can find somewhere decent to set up, get some food on, set the chairs up, and spend some time chatting to you guys.
We're lost, aren't we?
So all the guys have gone to bed now. Everybody is absolutely knackered. We had a long day yesterday. We was out exploring on the chase. Didn't get in the house till about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and by the time we dropped our kit on the ground, we charged our batteries and climbed into bed and fell asleep, we're probably looking at about 4 o'clock in the morning by the time we all got to sleep. And right now it's all about getting rest, catching up on some rest for tonight, because tonight we're heading out and we're going to go back on the chase, find a location to set up the chairs, get a little fire going, and then sit around the fire, just chilling out, talking about some of these different weird theories and opinions as to what's going on here and what we think, because these are my best moments. Once everybody's in the flow, everybody starts bouncing off each other with different ideas. Sometimes amazing concepts or ideas do come out during these times, and I'm really excited to hear what everyone else has to say, but also share it with you guys as well. So right now it's time for me to rest, and once I'm awake again, I will be back in touch. You guys have been awesome. Sit back and continue to enjoy. It's a full moon. I'm not sure if that's a good omen or a bad omen. A lot of reports of dogmen and werewolves do happen here at CANNOCK CHASE, so I'm sure we'll soon find out for ourselves. I'm not a big believer in those types of things, but just like the tree structures, stick structures, I never just dismiss them. They do still fascinate me, whether I believe them or not. It's always nice to hear other people's experiences and encounters with such things like dogmen and werewolves. Yeah, it's going to be a great night. I'm super excited. Can't wait just to get there now, get set up, get some food and a coffee on, and start exchanging stories.
Turn right onto Rugeley Road.
Whether you believe in the paranormal or not, or whether you believe in other alternative ideas like Bigfoot, aliens and dogmen, is really not that important. Everyone is entitled to their beliefs, and there will always be those who agree and those who disagree. The very clothes on your back right now will be considered as embarrassing to somebody else. But there is one thing that we can never deny, and that is our lack of understanding when it comes to the world around us. Earth's oceans, forests and deserts will all have hidden secrets that we may never understand or get the chance to experience. Something is certainly being seen here in the UK and reported by hundreds of individuals. That something defies our basic understanding, and what that something is may always remain a mystery. But to never try and dig for the answers, that will only guarantee it 100%. See, this is like my first time here at CANNOCK CHASE. Mark, you've been before, I think, like you said, 5 years ago now?
Yeah.
Chris, you ever been?
I've been many times.
Yeah.
Many times. Just because in alternative circles, through ufology, through cryptid research, through actually paranormal research, a lot of ghost stories surrounding CANNOCK CHASE. So it's one of those places that I've frequented many, many times.
Yeah.
But it's like any of these hotspots, it's got all the lore, and it's possibly the most paranormal place in the UK. You know, I mean, see people talk about Rendlesham, but I think in terms of stories and frequency of sighting, CANNOCK CHASE is right up there with anywhere in the UK.
Do we know how far it goes back as a hotspot? Is this a recent thing, or like last 100 years, or is it before then as well?
A lot of history about Britain's ancient history has been lost through the church because it kind of went against the grain a little bit.
Yeah.
I think this going into the ancient past, I think you'd probably find a lot of significance to ley lines, because it seems to me that they certainly knew that whatever that earth energy is, the dragon lines, the ley lines, it seems to me to be connected to these places.
Yeah.
How much evidence there is there, I don't know, but I definitely think there is a little bit of tangible evidence there. But again, ley lines and that sort of energy is still considered such a pseudoscience.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you mention the castle circle rig the way it was today, and how these hotspots have places like that, because during my time making this documentary and investigating the moors, I realised that every walk of life's been there. There's been the Romans, there's been the Normans, there's been the Vikings even pulled up on the east coastline there and moved into the moors. So these people have settled and had an interest in these areas before phenomena started, and it's just interesting that is normally the case when you find a hotspot. There is normally some kind of a burial ground or something like that there. Something I want to ask Chris and you, Mark, is werewolf sightings. As far as I'm aware, I'm not really big on the werewolf phenomena, but CANNOCK has a lot of reports of that kind of phenomena here. Is it the only place in the UK that has that going on, or is there many other places that report werewolves?
There are others. Longridge.
Yeah,
That's got very known sightings of wolfmen or werewolf type beings. But they're sporadic all around the country.
When you follow the alternative media over the years, much like the Saucer cult in the 50s and then the X-Files spree in the 90s with ufology, the Dogman seems to have popped up from nowhere.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you talk to historians, they'll probably tell you they'll probably tell you different, and they're probably right. Yeah. But in terms of sort of like in alternative media and encrypted lore, the werewolf's always been a part of British lore.
Well, I mean, when I was younger, I always thought really the Dogman and the werewolf, there were two differences. The Dogman was always in dog form. It couldn't transform into a man. It was just the Dogman. The werewolf, on the other hand, was, you know, the full moon, everything else. That's how I was always thought of what it could have been, with the difference between them both. But
we've said it while being here, is just because we haven't experienced anything doesn't take anything away from these reports of people that have.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
and
not.
I could come here for every day, 365 days a year, and not see anything, but it still doesn't stop reports coming forward. People are reporting seeing strange things.
Yeah, I mean, most of these accounts, if you look at Britain's cryptid accounts, and there are hundreds of them, I'd say the majority of these are just chance encounters.
Yeah.
It's very rare that as an active ghost hunter or a cryptid hunter or, you know, a ufologist out there just looking into the skies, that you're going to actually film and see what you're looking for. I mean, with cryptids, it's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't think we'd be in here if we really thought that we were going to come across a 7-8 foot bipedal wolf, that we'd be out here. I mean, I've been investigating this for 13 years, and there is I believe the accounts, but if there must be a part of me that doubts, and I think that's the sceptical part of my mind.
Yeah.
Or else there's no way I'd be sat in here. And there's times when you've done this, Ben, we've camped alone in these places. And in my mind, I'm more afraid of coming across a human being who's
absolutely,
you know, not just because that element of doubt in my mind is that no, I'm not going to see this. And much of this, we do this, or I do this to sort of prove a point that if you want to capture this phenomena, or if you want to have any credibility with what you're saying, you have to be out here doing it.
Yeah, that's it.
You have to walk the walk. It's all right sitting at home talking the talk, but if you're not out here in the woods, and again, this is not remote. Again, any Americans or Canadians watching this, CANNOCK CHASE is not one of those remote locations. You know, we've been up to Scotland and in more remote places than this. Whereas this place is far from remote.
It's one of the unique things about this place.
Yeah.
I mean, you said it today. We went and it was quite touristy. There was families out, kids running around, and we said, didn't we, that maybe that plays into the fact that there is more sightings here because there is more people. But yeah, it's not remote, but strange things do keep coming forward. And just like you said there, Chris, me and you get out a lot, and we've done the solo wild camping stuff in these areas. And for me, I think it's this selfish mindset of it won't happen to me. And like you said, it's the skeptic. There must be a skeptical side of you as well that allows you to keep going back into these areas. I often think, what happened to me? And I'm sure that's what many people think that have had sightings.
Well, I've come to CANNOCK really this weekend. I'm filming obviously Elusive too, but really what I'm looking for is physical evidence. So we've been up and down the chase, looking for prints. Nothing, not a thing. Again, it's a man-made forest. I mean, we have been today up near the Castle Ring, and there's a much more different species, wild edibles up there, and different species of trees, much more natural environment where you might hope to find a print if these things are flesh and blood. But with all the lore of CANNOCK, I would say a huge portion of these sightings are supernatural, or what we would deem supernatural. Mark's seen a cryptid with his own eyes, and he'll tell you these things look every bit like a real animal, a real creature. There's, you know, many of the sightings don't have the red glowing eyes. They don't have the semi-transparent look. They don't disappear into thin air. These things are often seen clawing at the ground, drinking at water holes, just frequenting and making their way through the woodland. It doesn't lend itself to some sort of supernatural beast that's just arrived through a portal that suits us very nicely, that we can just say, oh wow, it lives in another dimension, it's just arrived here. But that's probably why we get such a hard time, and why we're so fascinated with it. Because we'll never get that answer, so we'll always have that hunger to find the answer. And it's a strange It's quite ironic, really, when you think about it. That I know if I can sit here now and I'll tell you, we are never going to find the answer to this. I am never going to find the answer, but it's not going to stop me looking. And what a strange feeling that is to keep coming out here. I mean, great. I mean, it's nice to be out in nature and to be outside and all the rest of it. So it's not like it's a really hard chore. But when you're travelling constantly and you're researching this stuff, it does cost money, and it is taxing. You are away from your family, and you arrive home with very little results. There's no, no heroes welcome with the Patterson Gimlin.
No, that's right.
It just doesn't happen.
How much of this do you think is phenomena leading phenomena? Like, say it started off with people seeing strange lights in the sky, and then that became extraterrestrial beings walking through the woods, and then big cats and dogmen, and then Bigfoot. How much of that do you think is playing a part here, or do you think these are all genuine scenarios that are taking place?
I think if you take the witnesses' statements seriously, and I think we have to, because more often than not, the witnesses are not people that are interested in this phenomena.
Yeah, and that's a great thing that I always like when you come across those types of people. You've spoke to farmers and everyone, Chris, that you said to me before, don't want to come speak to people like us. They'd rather get this sorted behind closed doors, away from, you know what I mean?
They don't want the ridicule, do they?
They feel
But what is
ashamed.
the benefit?
That's it, yeah.
There's no payoff talking about this stuff to anybody.
Yeah.
Certainly if you're not in this realm, because the alternative scene is it's...
Yeah.
Do you want to run us through your encounter, Mark?
Yeah, some time ago, I was 13, I think. 14, 13, I don't know, around that age anyway. And I'd made an assault course through my local woods. Yeah, I grew up in called Talton, near Preston in Lancashire. And it's an area I was brought up in, obviously, nothing weird. But we made an assault course, so we went through it, me and a friend of mine. Gave it a try out, and we got to the other end, and just catching your breath, and I saw somebody walking round, which I thought was somebody walking a dog, as you're going to think, because you try and bridge it to as best you can. You don't want to alienate everything out. Try and keep it as solid as, is it, you're not going to think, oh, it's Bigfoot. You're going to the first thing, oh, it's Bigfoot. It's someone come around. But when it came to the clearing, that's when, within between 15 and 20 feet away, you could tell what I'm thinking. Oh.
But when we spoke about this, it wasn't like probably what some of our US listeners are thinking as a Bigfoot.
Exactly, and that's why.
Do you hear that? Something. No.
What did you hear, Chris? This is what I heard.
I've been hearing it for a couple of minutes.
What was it?
Sounds like someone moving through trees. Oh well, never mind. Right, carry on, sorry. Go on.
So yeah, sorry, I was just saying that for our US people that listen here and stuff, when Mark says Bigfoot, when we've spoke, Mark, you said it wasn't exactly like the US version of it.
No, that's why I don't know if it was a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Now, whether that's me trying to, cure my own insanity, I don't know. But it was only 5 foot, 5.5 foot. It wasn't tall, but it was really, really muscular. You could see the muscles on it. The hair covered from head to toe, matted, dark, with a mix of grey. I couldn't see its face, but it.
And a humpback.
Yeah, and that's the difference with all the Bigfoot footage that people have captured. They've seen it running through or walking through, and it's walking like a sluggish ape. Well, what I saw had a humpback, didn't have a neck or anything, just the head, humpback, solid muscles. Just the shoulders. I remember just seeing the shoulders of it. It's enormous.
And Chris, you've been taking reports of wildman sightings here in the UK for a while now and stuff. Is that a common sighting, like what Matt?
There are many reports of a much smaller stature.
Yeah.
But if it's flesh and blood, and this is a big question, if it's flesh and blood, Britain has a much smaller medium, so in huge places like we've said, North America, Canada, China, Russia, the landmass, the size of the trees, everything is bigger. Whereas in the UK, if you're the type of researcher that is into structures, for example, the structures are tiny in comparison.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a big fan of the tree structures as it happens, but there may be something in it. It's very little research gone into it. So when I see the ones in America that are trees put into impossible positions, trees that weigh an absolute ton, we don't have that here. That's not when British people, researchers talk about, I found a tree structure. This is not, a whole tree, 30-foot tree that's been moved from its location and put in the middle of nowhere. That just doesn't happen. So anyone that says it does, show me the pictures, because I've never seen anything like that, and I've been looking for it.
The thing I've loved about this last 2 days on this trip is how we differ as individuals.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got Chris that's got like the skeptical viewpoint, but he's also open-minded. You said tonight that the UFO phenomena, you can take it and leave it, and me who believes that some of these cryptids probably are extraterrestrial. And I think that being around different mindsets like that is a healthy thing. If you're around people that believe everything you believe and don't challenge anything, that can be quite damaging sometimes, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that you're right, exactly right. Why being part of the groups, even if it's an online group, that discuss, when you get into a group and some of these groups outlaw disagreeing or arguing against, I don't know, it could be tree structures, it could be the flesh and blood, it could be anything. Whereas I think groups thrive as long as everyone's respectful. I think groups and movements thrive and grow when people debate points, and then we bring a skeptic in or we bring a scientist in, and a scientist will just ruin your argument most times, but it's necessary, or else you're never going to move anywhere. I mean, I'm here because part of me wants to believe, it's the X-Files. I do want to believe because I think it's there's a bit of magic, isn't it? It's like we want it to be real, and that's I think in modern day, in times certainly at the moment, we need a little bit of that, a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of something to get away to, even if it's just being out in nature. And if Bigfoot's an excuse to go camping or to be out in nature, to just reset, cool, that's fine by me. In Britain, when you look at the hotspots, we're not talking about super remote places. That's not to say it's not happening in those places. It's just to say that Britain's small, and when you look at the actual sightings map, CANNOCK being one of them, this is heavily populated, massive tourist place.
Yeah.
So it isn't shy. If this is a fleshy creature, it isn't shy about frequenting these places.
A phrase that Paul Sinclair's used quite a lot is a multi-phenomena area.
Take Rendlesham, we've talked about this before. Rendlesham, multi-phenomena area, hauntings, ghosts, UFOs, aliens, cryptids. So you've got everything in the mixing pot is there. Everything in the mixing pot is here at CANNOCK. Everything is at places like Benton, Flixton, Flamborough, the East Coast, Filey. They all happen to have a military base nearby. That could be an afterthought. Obviously, I think the phenomena's here. The base gets built. Before the base, probably an ancient burial mound. And I dare say, from the whistleblower that spoke to me, said, imagine what all the other military groups are doing. The British were doing it too, and are doing it. So if there's something to be gained from using ritualistic magic, if you want to call it magic, again, we'll get back into terminology, but if there is an advantage to it, then they will be utilising it. You can bet you can put your money on that. And there are groups out there. Again, this is something Paul Sinclair looked at when Paul and I did the film Bringing Down the Light. We met a guy that had seen groups practicing bits of dark magic, black magic, ritualistic magic involving animal mutilation and that kind of thing. I've never had any experience with it. It's.
I have. I found teeth. I found a smashed urn on the floor. thought, that's odd. Somebody's been kids in here ransacking these graves, so it's very disrespectful. Then I saw a pigeon that was dead with no head next to it, and another pigeon that had its neck broke. So as I'm filming this, thinking, right, well, I need to document this. It's obviously not just kids messing around now. They've killed 2 pigeons, stolen the urn. As I'm filming this, I see a necklace on the floor made of animal teeth. It's the most bizarrest thing, but that to me, like you just said there, opened my eyes to a whole new world, because before then, I thought it was just things you saw in movies, read in books.
Yeah,
this stuff actually does happen.
I mean, the last thing that we thought we were going to come across when Paul was finding all those sheep dead, and many of the skeptic people that came upon the story was saying, well, this is just men just running around the woods, running around the fields in the darkness, killing these animals. But then we started getting wind of the magic, the past, the ritual, the people that were practicing these dark deeds. And we thought about it for a while. We thought, well, maybe it is them. Maybe, it makes sense that, that's kind of what they do. Maybe it is them. And then, but the practicality of doing that in some of these locations without being seen by the landowner, it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
I'm just worried I was conscious about that light going again.
Oh, right. Why was it not off?
Right, guys, it is 3:30 in the morning, so it's a very, very late end to another great evening again. And this is what to expect when you get away on these expeditions. You come away exploring in these hotspot locations. It is late night, very, very late night. So my sleep pattern is all over at the minute, but I wouldn't change it for the world. It's been an absolutely amazing trip. This is the end of day 2, so tomorrow we will be jumping back in the cars and sadly heading home. But would I do this again? In a heartbeat, because the company that I've been around has been amazing, and we've had some great laughs, some great conversations, and I've had my mind opened even more about new possibilities and theories. So I'm coming away from this trip with a better mindset, a more open mindset to different things that I would never normally entertain, like Dogman and wolves and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm waffling. I'm going to get to sleep because I am tired. I will check in with you guys in the morning before I head home. But hopefully you've all enjoyed it. If you have, then please do hit that subscribe button. Drop down in the comments box below. Let me know what you guys think. And until next time, guys, I'll see you on the next one.